So here we are to address certain challenges, and Craig can probably speak a bit more about this. I'll hand it over to you, but these are a few initiatives that are going on to mitigate and be solutions to the risks outlined before.
Yeah, so this is one thing that it's especially in the time we're at in the year here, and some events that we have coming up in the next week. Um, the data center component of the AI boom, all of those things is fairly apolitical. There are significant incentives coming in from the federal government. There will likely be also state and local incentives coming in. But as far as whether one side is liking or hating data center development and AI development, like I said, it's very apolitical. So regardless what happens next week or the following weeks, this is something that is going to continue to come in a very, very big way. This is a tidal wave that's coming. And again, like I said earlier in the presentation, the sites that are going to be ideal for data centers are typically some of the real estate sites that aren't considered super high value. They're not your luxury properties. They're not your luxury ranches, things like that. These are going to be areas where there's been maybe historically some contamination issues, what we would call brownfield sites. These would be former landfills, things like that. So this is going to be reuse of certain areas, and there are some government folks on the call. We work heavily with state, local, and federal governments, helping them get their properties out in front of folks. This is something for them to consider if they have sites like that and they want to generate revenue, and it doesn't fit for a lot of different types of real estate development. This could be something that could create significant revenue in those cases. Typically, you do not see a lot of leasing from private land for data centers. You just see as direct acquisition of that land. Whereas on the government side, you will see a little bit more of that leasing versus buying scenario there. So you kind of got to balance that depending on what side of that equation you're on, whether you're a government land asset holder or you're a private fee landholder there. And then on the index scores here again, like we mentioned before, LandGate is a very, very good tool to go through and screen. And for that $10 a month subscription, you can do this for any property. I do this constantly on properties that I'm purchasing personally for myself. I do not even consider thinking about moving forward with any property before I look at the actual index scores. Click on the property, and there you can get an understanding where you have value on the property, and then where you actually have some risks as well. So phase one type contamination, you see there on this example you're seeing there on the right, that industrial contamination fairly high. I probably, if I'm in a residential or commercial type real estate transaction, I may never know that until a very savvy buyer comes and I'm trying to sell that piece of property. So I can find that out right away. I can actually dig into these index scores using Land App. I can dig into actual listings and I can find out value and risk indexes on all the listings on LandGate as well.